Hi gamers, the newest Rivals 2 patch is here, and it's a pretty big one I've been told. I heard most characters get a few balance changes, so let's go ahead and peek through it. They start by saying, heroes from across the time return in the new Aether Legends Resurgence event for 2026. This year, we're imagining some rivals as if they had been chosen a different path. See the legends in the flesh in our latest event trailer featuring Apprentice Absa, Smoke Clan Ranno, and Sylvain Acolyte Maypul. So we're not going to play the trailer, but you can check it out on the Rivals YouTube or Twitter, but this bundle's a little bit different than previous ones we've had. The paid bundle includes 2 new Aether Legend skins, Apprentice Absa and Smoke Clan Ranno, both with their own icon. As we're down 1 skin in the icon bundle, we've gone ahead and added even more Aether coins and Aether bucks to it. The free event track includes the Sylvain Acolyte Maypul, skin, and icon, the Armada Fighter platform, Smoke Clan Ranno emote, Ranger Explosion death effect, plus coins and bucks. Players equipping any of the event skins above and any of the previous Aether Legend skins will get a bonus on the XP. So this is a little bit different. I think these skins are really quality, so they're still worth it. Like, these are my favorite skins in the game, the series at least of the Aether Legends. So I'll definitely be picking up this bundle, but I am a little bit bummed that there's not 3 skins in the paid tier. However, I'm kind of surprised as well that they put the Maypul in the free tier even because of that. I feel like you would eliminate the free unpaid skin from your bundle before you eliminated a paid one, but you know, I'm not going to complain about free stuff. Like, kudos to you Aether Studios, like, you get some bonus points for that. If you're a fan of this bundle though, be sure to use code LASTSTOCK in the item shop. It really helps out the online tournaments and the free online weeklies that I do, so thanks tons for all the support. Additional information on monthly bundle content. As mentioned above, this month's paid bundle only includes 2 skins instead of the usual 3. Since we recently had to reduce our studio team size, our monthly updates, except for character releases, are planned to feature just 2 per paid event going forward. To keep the value the same for our players who like to purchase these, the Aether bucks and coins included have been increased to help make up for the missing skin. That means you're still getting the best bang for your buck if you want to buy them as a bundle. As always, you can still buy these skins individually for the same price as usual in the buck shop. I guess that does make sense because the bundle's $20, right? And then each skin is worth $10 of currency. So it is technically still like a good deal to buy these, right? So I really don't mind that, like, I'm not mad about it. Next, we have a new launch option pop up. We added this yesterday in an unannounced hotfix, but still wanted to note that the game now has a pop-up launch option that allows you to easily pick between DirectX 11 or DirectX 12. We've recently introduced optimization improvements to DirectX 12, so it's our recommended option, but if you're experiencing problems with this, please try Direct 11 as well. I'm not going to go over all this because it's kind of like a troubleshooting thing, but if you are having like problems with your launcher, especially your shaders or maybe load times, go ahead and check out this section of the patch notes. Next, we've got our new shop items. Here's the new palettes and icons included in this patch. Our Midnight Abyss Reina palette, and the brown Orcane palette. He looks a little goofy, doesn't he? Next, we have Tactical Ranger Clairen and Tactical Ranger Fleet. I really like these. These are fun. Like, we don't have a lot of skins that have these more neutral tones on them, so I'm a fan. Next, we got all these fun icons. We still got some Creatures of Aether icons coming to the game, which I'm kind of surprised about. I feel like there's so many of them. I thought they'd be out by now. But we also got some new rank shop items for Absa, which is super cool. I like these emotes a lot, actually. Having like the colored effects on the black and white, like silverish looking icons is pretty cool. Next, we have some quick audio updates. Absa installed a new module in her Mech's Cloud, and it can now play Moonsailor's track I Will Shine when you hold her default taunt. In case you forgot, the theme is from the 2025 Mecha Madness event trailer, sang by Absa's voice actress herself. So this was like the EVO trailer they had. Maypul also has new voice lines for her Pummel and Ledge special, as well as her new taunt lines for Pirate and Birder skins. You got this, Terry. Zetterburn now has custom taunt 2 sound effects, and Etalus does as well. And Samurai Clairen's voiceover now correctly responds to the voiceover fader setting instead of the SFX fader. Next, we're onto our balance changes, which is the big part of this patch I've been told. For our general changes, Suppressed Dash Attack is now enabled on the default control scheme. This feature helps newer players get inputs they want, so we want to make sure they have this feature turned on without having to change any settings. This does not change any settings on existing tags. So basically, if you're a new player, this will automatically turn on, but if you're an older player, you're going to have to go back and turn this one on manually. Air dodges and attacks that set your vertical velocity to a specific value will now cancel all vertical knockback velocity. This prevents some weird momentum quirks where performing an attack after hit stun especially if the hit had a low multiplier. Characters that have used up their wall cling resource will now wall jump when doing wall cling inputs. This makes the input consistent regardless of your wall cling resource status. So this mainly just applies to Maypul, but basically if you input the held input, you'll just get the jump instead if you can't do a hold. Characters on parry stun can no longer be pushed by other players. This prevents them from being pushed off ledges by forward moving attacks, which would cancel the parry stun. I'm really grateful for this because me playing Orcane with his fat ass would always push people off the ledge and then they would fall out of my move, so super thankful for that, I'm a fan. Shield Break will now freeze your ECB bottom for 60 frames. Previously, it was inconsistent whether a character would land on a platform at the peak of the Shield Break launch arc, since the animation might move their ECB bottom upwards. Now, every character will behave the same at the peak, so you can always know whether they will land on a platform or not. This is really good to know, it's going to be a little bit more predictable now. Ledge attack, ledge special, ledge jump, and ledge roll now all use a free 3-frame buffer instead of a full 6-frame buffer. This is intended to reduce the number of accidentally buffered ledge actions. Ledge drop inputs are intentionally excluded, and all inputs performed between the ledge drop and the actual ledge drop will still be buffered afterwards with the full 6-frame buffer. I guess if this is good, it'll kinda mean that if you've clicked a button before you land on the ledge, you're not gonna roll accidentally, right? So maybe that is a good change. I'd have to try it out to really see. Attacks can now specify a ledge grab frame that occurs after the as soon as actionable frame. There were too many aerials that could be performed after a ledge drop double jump and still grab ledge afterwards, with a generous window. So we've made it possible to prevent them from grabbing ledge without needing to add extra recovery to them. This has been widely applied across the cast, both to prevent the ledge grab entirely, or to tighten the window where it's possible. I hope that we get individual notes on these changes. I would like to see what they actually did. Grabbed characters will now have at least as much armor as the grabbing player. This prevents opponents from being hit out of armored throws, like Reina's command grabs. I guess it's kind of like a doubles mechanic or like a free-for-all mechanic, right? So now, if Reina's doing a command grab, she won't be stuck in this weird, okay, I landed my move, but I didn't finish the move, so I didn't get anything from it, right? Grabbed escape states are now intangible for their full duration. This prevents the grabbing player's teammate from getting punished on the grabbed player once they are released from a grab, whether they're waiting too long or from breaking a pummel. I guess this kind of stops an infinite moment. All throws will now prevent SDI for the thrown player. Previously, this only applied to standard throws, while most other throws were given a ×0 SDI multiplier to emulate the same behavior. However, this made non-grabbed players hit by the move also unable to SDI it, so this fix makes it properly prevent SDI for only the grabbed player. This also buffs all of Reina's command grabs since they were previously SDI-able. This might be kind of crazy for Reina, it might be really, really good. I'm not super sure how effective SDI was against her grab since normal DI was already so strong into them, but we'll have to see. Maximum vertical distance grabs have gone from 200 to 150. This makes it less likely to grab someone far above or below you. I've definitely had some times where maybe I'm fighting a big body character like Kragg or Etalus, and they start to drop off a platform and I grab, and they're notably above me and I'll still grab them. So I'm hoping that this does fix it for their sake, but I'm kind of bummed that I don't get to cheese people as much. Chain grab protection is now removed when bouncing off a wall or ceiling after missing the tech. This increases the punishment for missing a wall ceiling tech, especially when fighting Kragg due to his pillar and cargo throws. And finally, fixed a bug that caused characters to teleport to the stage when released from certain grabs. For example, if Reina grabbed Orcane with down air on air armada close to the ground, but then got interrupted by a bubble, Orcane could be teleported below the stage. I definitely saw a bunch of Twitter clips of this, it was super fun, but glad that it's fixed. It'll make the game a little bit more smooth and predictable. Now onto our actual character patch notes, we've got Zetterburn up front. For Zetterburn, we want to focus on a few of his aerials that do a bit too much regardless of which hitbox you land. We're also increasing his hit stun gravity to emphasize his combo ability as a weakness. His hit stun gravity has gone from 1.4 to 1.5. In order to offset his offensive strengths, we're making him get comboed a little harder than he previously did at mid-percents and higher. Uncharged neutral special knockback has been adjusted. This makes it knock opponents down at much later percents than it did previously. Forward tilt hit 1 knockback has also been changed, and this makes it less effective when trading with opponents' attacks. Forward tilt hit 2's active hitboxes have gone from 3 to 2, and its recovery has been adjusted to keep the as soon as actionable frame the same. The animation has also changed so that the arms stay out in front of him for less active frames. This reduces the disjoint of the move slightly, making it worse at contesting space. I'm kind of happy about this, if I have to be really honest. I felt like Zetterburn could kind of mash the forward tilt at ledge a lot, or down tilt, right? And it's kind of like you had to guess which one he wanted to click. And then if you got it wrong, he would just kind of kill you. So, it's certain percents, of course. The neutral air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 12 to 21. So this refers to the general balance patch that we read earlier that said that they were tweaking a few characters' moves to where you couldn't come off of ledge with the move and then re-grab ledge with it. So if you play one of these characters and you know like actually how much this impacts them, let me know. I don't play Zetterburn, so I'm not sure how often high-level Zetterburns were doing nair off of ledge and then going back to ledge, you know? Forward air recovery has gone from 20 to 25, that's a pretty crazy change. Forward air is going to be a lot laggier now. And forward air recovery window ledge grab frames gone from 20 to 27. This move was still doing a bit too much, even without needing to land, so we're adding some more recovery frames. Back air recovery has gone from 15 to 16, and back air's recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 15 to 22. Up air recovery has gone from 17 to 21. This makes it more committal in the air, and reduces its combo potential when not landing on the ground. So now you're going to kind of have to use it as like a laddering tool, like on a triplat potentially, with like some hitfall shenanigans to actually get your full use out of it. You're not going to be able to do like up air, double jump up air quite as often anymore. Up air sweet spot knockback has been edited. This makes it weaker until around 111%. So I guess this means that up air will be sending you a smaller distance, right? So maybe it still will combo pretty well. That we'll really have to see. I'm kind of concerned for Zetterburn. These seem like a lot of big swings at his aerials. And I mean, I'm not a Zetterburn fan, like don't get me wrong, right? But this is a lot, you know? The up air chest hitbox knockback angle has changed from 50 to 45. This makes DIOA more effective against this move. So his normal hitbox on his like claws will be the same, but on the chest, the more sour spot part will be a little bit worse. Up air chest hitbox radius has gone from 30 to 45, and moved 15 centimeters upwards. This makes Zetterburn have to space the move more precisely to get the more rewarding knockback of the arm sour spots. Up air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 21 to 26. So yeah, Zetterburn did get hit pretty hard in his aerial department. So I'm kind of curious, like, what do you guys Zetterburn players, how are y'all feeling about this? Are we feeling good? Are we feeling bad? Like, his movement didn't get changed, and normally whenever movement gets changed, that like really like feels bad. But I have a feeling that forward air recovery frame might make it a little bit hard to get kills off that move now. For Ranno, the neutral special recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 16 to 23, neutral airs has gone from 11 to 20, forward airs from 24 to 32, back air has gone from 16 to 23, up air from 16 to 22, and down air from 15 to 23. He didn't really receive a lot of changes. These are just kind of the general, like, everyone got this pass of not being able to grab ledge quite as quickly out of attacking. However, on Ranno, I think these changes are especially and really notably bad because he did like to drop from ledge a lot, and then do something like neutral air, back air, even forward air on a recovering opponent, and now he's not going to be quite as consistent at that. So this change might affect him more than a few other fighters, but let me know if you're a Ranno player. Wrastor can outperform tilt cancels with strong inputs. Interesting. Tilt can out jump cancel when hitting any object, not just players. This is really good. I feel like this should have been how it was from the start. I'm actually surprised it wasn't that way. Fixed a bug where hitting an opponent with forward specials projectile when another slipstream was already active would give the extended active time to the old slipstream instead of the new one. Neutral air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 21 to 26, forward airs has gone from 20 to 25, back air from 19 to 21, up air from 21 to 32, and down air from 16 to 28. So overall, these are actually pretty major for Wrastor. These numbers are pretty high, especially on moves like down air and up air. And up air was actually like a move that did reach pretty far in front of Wrastor, which would have been good coming off of ledge, so that's a little bit of a bummer for him. However, these other changes are definitely pretty nice, right? Like, it's like, they're not going to make Wrastor a top tier, right? But they're good quality of life changes that should smooth out his gameplay a little bit. Up next, we've got Kragg. The combination of Kragg's extreme weight and the speed and versatility of his recovery tools make him unreasonably resistant to being KO'd. The main goal of these changes is to nerf the speed of his non-pillar recovery options, since they previously made it too easy to quickly climb a wall to potentially reverse an edgeguard situation on the opponent. We also want to differentiate pillarless up special and forward special, since they were previously too functionally similar. First up, the ledge drop vertical offset from ledge has gone from negative 170 to negative 220. Previously, he would end up very high relative to the ledge when letting go of it. This change makes his ledge drop aerials also gain less height. I guess that this is good like for defensive purposes, right? Like no one's going to be hitting you with like an F strong whenever you're down here. But at the same time, a lot of Kraggs I know would come off ledge with like neutral air, would come off ledge with forward air, right? So this is maybe like a bummer if you were doing that quite often. Forward special cancel horizontal speed boost has gone from 10 to 13.5. Forward special cancel additional horizontal speed boost based on joystick position has gone from 10 to 2. And forward special cancel air friction has gone from 0.11 to the default of 0.2. Forward special cancel air acceleration by 0.75 has gone to 0.35. This reduces the maximum speed boost while also making Kragg commit more to his forward movement. The increased air friction makes Kragg lose speed faster, effectively reducing the horizontal range of the move at long distances. So basically, you're going to be moving a little bit slower at your max speed, but you're going to also have to be committing more to the forward movement because you can't tune yourself going slower as well. So it's a little bit of a complicated an equation, but it all makes sense whenever you read that summary. Forward special cancel's vertical speed boost has gone from 28.3 to 16.7, that's a big number change. Forward special cancel gravity has gone from 1.7 to 0.6. And forward special cancel wall jump frame has gone from 16 to 20, so you're going to have to wall jump at 4 frames later. This makes Kragg stall at the peak of the hop for longer before being able to grab ledge or wall jump, while retaining the vertical distance of the move in combination with the horizontal velocity changes. This makes Kragg cover slightly more horizontal distance than before once he reaches the peak of the hop, although it takes longer to reach that point. So basically what this means, if you do a pillarless side B, you're going to be hopping a little bit further, but it's going to take longer to do, so your opponent has more time to punish you, right? So you're more vulnerable, but you're going to go a little bit further, so it's not all doom and gloom for Kragg. Forward special's knockback reduction will be less effective against vertical attacks. Previously an attack that sent straight upwards would deal no knockback to Kragg's forward special, while move that sent straight horizontal would deal full knockback. Now, horizontal moves will still deal full knockback, but vertical moves will only have their knockback strength reduced by half. It makes it so that all moves will knock Kragg back at least a little bit. This is a good change overall in my opinion, and makes counterplay to the forward special a little bit more clear. Up special now reduces horizontal speed by 50% on startup, and no longer gives an extra boost when pillar is not available. That's really interesting, so you're going to be going a little bit less far with your up special pillarlessly. So I guess it's better to use the forward special cancel, right, if you're trying to get to the wall. However, the forward special is now laggier, so up special will be faster, but you're not going to go quite as far at all. Up special startup air friction has gone from 0.11 to the default 0. Up special is Kragg's fastest way to grab ledge, so now the horizontal distance at which it can grab ledge is slightly reduced. This also makes Pillar's spawn location more predictable when using it offensively. Up special fall speed gravity for the first 10 frames has gone from 1.7 to 0.6. Up special fall start wall jump frame has gone from 0 to 10. This makes Kragg stall at the peak of the hop longer before being able to grab the ledge or wall jump, while also gaining an extra 20 centimeters in height to make up for the shortened horizontal distance and to further differentiate it from the forward special cancel. So basically, like, this is kind of like complex to me, right? Like, it's like, I was an art major for a reason, I don't do the math, I don't do the numbers. What I'm gathering is up special will go higher now, and then side special is going to go further sideways, right? But both of them are going to be a little bit more vulnerable. Pillar now has a hitbox along the top that reaches 30 centimeters higher than the other hitboxes and can only hit grounded opponents. Previously, Pillar could lift opponents up without hitting them if their ECB was much lower than their hurt box. This change should make those types of scenarios much less common. So now Pillar is going to just be more consistent on hit. I have noticed sometimes with Orcane, like if I'm doing neutral air, right? The Kragg would raise me up, and then I wouldn't get hit out of my neutral air, and then my neutral air would just hit him, right? And that's only happened to me like once or twice, but it did happen, and it's like, sucks for the Kragg player because they didn't do anything wrong, it was just like a bug in the game, right? The Pillar knockback on aerial opponents has changed, and the hit stun multiplier as well. This prevents opponents from landing on Pillar, while keeping the total hit stun the same as before. Characters can no longer fast fall after the Pillar breaks under them and sends them into the Pillar fall state. This gives the player who broke the Pillar more time to punish their opponent before they could land, wall jump, or grab the ledge. So basically, you're going to have more time, like if you break Pillar, you'll know where your opponent's at, and you'll be able to track that and then get your kill. Neutral cargo through a knockback has been changed, and this makes it send opponents further at high percents, reducing its combo potential at higher percents. Aerial down special knockback has also been edited, This move was a bit too powerful for how many ways Kragg has to set up into it, so we're toning it down. The knockback, it won't outright KO opponents until slightly later percents. So basically this move will still be strong at high percents, but it does more like low and middling percents, it probably won't be quite as effective for stealing a stock. Neutral air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 12 to 19, the forward air from 20 to 24, back air from 16 to 21, down air to 21 to 26. So these numbers aren't quite as drastic as some of the other characters, but we also saw that Kragg's ledge grab drop has also been changed to be a little bit worse for poking opponents, so maybe that's why. The overhead HUD vertical offset has gone from 50 to 75. This makes it block less of Kragg's body. For Fleet, her neutral air recovery window has gone from 25 to 32 for the ledge grab, the forward air from 23 to 28, back air from 27 to 30, and up air from 25 to 32. So just a quick pass over those numbers coming from ledge. Maypul got the same thing, her neutral air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 15 to 20, the forward air from 19 to 26, back air from 12 to 20. Clairen got the same treatment, with just her aerials being changed with the ledge frame. Her neutral air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 17 to 25, the forward air from 24 to 29, and the back air from 23 to 30. If you play any of these characters like Fleet, Clairen, Maypul, I guess everyone got these changes, let me know how they impact your gameplay on your character. I'm really curious if one character got really fucked up over this. Loxodont's ledge drop vertical offset from ledge has gone from 170 to 200, similar to Kragg. Previously, he would end up very high relative to the ledge when letting go of it. This change makes his ledge drop aerials also gain less height. Fixed a bug where up special would get launched into the top blast zone when breaking pillar with the rising hit at specific spacings. I haven't seen this one, but this seems kind of fun. I think they should have kept that in. I want to see a rocket ship Loxodont. The neutral air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 22 to 28, forward air has gone from 24 to 34, back air from 26 to 32, up air from 23 to 30, and down air from 20 to 29. So definitely a lot of big changes to Loxodont here on those recovery windows, because I know that Lox actually was a character that wanted to click a lot of buttons off of ledge, so I'm curious how that'll actually affect his gameplay overall. But he also did get this bug fix, so it's not all nerfs for Loxodont, I guess, not all nerfs. Orcane, his grab lowest hitbox is moved backwards 20 centimeters. This helps it to cover a blind spot against short characters who are overlapping Orcane. Forward special is now projectile and tangible while traveling. This helps Orcane get around projectiles off stage with good timing. So I guess this is similar to Etalus up B, where it's while he's traveling he can't be hit by a projectile. But I believe that Orcane is only traveling in his side B for 5 frames now, so I'm curious to see how much this actually helps me out when I'm recovering. The neutral air recovery ledge grab frame has gone from 16 to 24, back air from 16 to 23, down air from 15 to 24, and then the up throw bubble max initial horizontal velocity has gone from 3.4 to 2.5, so they're going to be a lot slower. The up throw bubble initial horizontal velocity is now determined by their spawn location instead of being random. This means that bubbles spawned on the far left of the spawn area will have leftward initial horizontal velocity. Upward bubbles horizontal velocity is now capped at 7 cm a frame. Upward bubbles maximum horizontal velocity has been changed from 0.33 to 0.12. And upward bubbles will now change their horizontal velocity 25% as much as before. This significantly reduces the randomness of up throw's bubbles, as well as down special's bubbles to a lesser extent. Up throw will now be more consistent against most characters. Thinner characters like Absa will still be a bit unreliable though. There's a pretty big change. Orcane's up throw has been feeling kinda iffy, right, recently? Where the move itself is really good whenever it lands, but really bad whenever it doesn't land, right? So I'm glad to see this finally being addressed. I'm hoping this makes it feel a little bit more consistent and cohesive with an Orcane's kit. Moving on to Forsburn, smoke clouds will now be destroyed when coming into contact with grab hitboxes. This works with both regular grabs and command grabs, allowing characters like Reina to clear out smoke clouds with their recovery moves. This is kind of crazy, so this is going to be a big change for Forsburn. I wouldn't be shocked if this one gets rolled back or considered a little bit differently, because you land a lot of grabs in this game, right? It's not uncommon to get grabbed, and Forsburn really needs to set up smoke cloud, so this is a pretty big nerf in my opinion. The downstrong hitbox radius has gone from 50 to 35. Horizontal and downward range has been preserved. This makes it much less high upwards, reducing its anti-air potential. I'm a little bit confused about this, right? Because if we think about other characters who have a hitbox like this, like Clairen, right? She did not receive a nerf to her down strong at all in the same way, so I'm curious if maybe they're waiting to revisit Clairen in a larger patch where it's more focused on her. And this is a good change to Forsburn, right? Because this move should be hitting lower. But I am just a little bit confused why she did not get the same pass. The neutral air recovery ledge window grab frame has gone from 16 to 25, the forward air from 14 to 25, the back air from 12 to 18, the up air from 20 to 18, and the down air from 21 to 27. I know that Forsburns would use neutral air and forward air a lot off ledge, so let me know how this one feels. For a quick bug fix, Forsburn will no longer command his clone when pressing grab or parry on the ground, while the air grab or parry setting is set to special or neutral special. So I guess just kind of like means like you'll do your special or neutral special instead of doing your like clone command. For our Etalus, his dash attack has a new sound effect. Awesome, Etalus. His dash attack back hitbox radius has been shrunk by 10 centimeters and moved 10 centimeters down. This makes it reach as far upwards as the front hitbox, making this move more susceptible from attacks from above. I'm kind of bummed about this because they took away his BBL hitbox, which is always a shame, but you know, it has to happen sometimes. Maybe the BBL's too strong. His neutral air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 8 to 12. These are like tongue twisters. The back air frame has gone from 17 to 25, and the up air from 24 to 27. This back air change for Etalus might be kind of bad for him because I know that a lot of Etaluses like to drop off ledge and then use back air on a recovering opponent. So this might be a problem. I feel like a few other characters might have that too, like Forsburn, or possibly like Loxodont, right? But a lot of other characters, I don't think that'll be too big of a problem because you still have like the frame data, right? To where it's like even if you do whiff your initial one, you'll be okay. But Etalus and Loxodont don't really have that quite as much. So I'm curious to see how this does actually affect them. Moving on to Olympia, who got a lot of changes, they say, "Our main goal with Olympia is to increase the precision required to take advantage of her strengths, which we achieve by decreasing her horizontal air movement properties, shrinking a few of her hitboxes, and adding a sour spot to her most oppressive option, down tilt. We're also adding some counterplay to her most consistent finisher, up special, by making it inversely disjointed and allowing opponents to escape if Olympia hits with the first hitbox. We also want to address the fact that landing forward special on an opponent while recovering is often worse than whiffing it. Maximum horizontal jump speed has gone from 15 to 12.5. Maximum horizontal airspeed has gone from 14.6 to 12. Maximum double jump horizontal speed has gone from 13 to 12. Previously, Olympia could cover a bit too much horizontal distance in the air, considering her extremely high vertical movement stats, which often made it easy to follow up on certain combo moves, even when the opponent was using full DI out. These changes slightly reduce the horizontal distance Olympia can cover after jumping, making her aerial threat range a bit shorter. The effective distance reduction is relatively small, but gets more pronounced the longer Olympia remains at her max airspeed. The Gem Dash Crystal hit knockback has been edited. This reduces the knockback at low percents, so it sends opponents into heavy hit stun at higher percents. Gem Dash will no longer create a hitbox when reaching the gem, if the gem is broken when she reaches it. This allows opponents to prevent the final hit by breaking the gem, so this should give some good counterplay to the move, but it's a little bit more nuanced in the tight timing. Forward special will now instantly slam the opponent into a wall if touching the wall after frame 24 of the on-hit leap window. Previously, Olympia would lose significant height if she hit an opponent with forward special while recovering, compared to if she whiffed the move, since she would fall so far with the opponent. Now, she'll slam the opponent much earlier, causing her to gain a little bit of height compared to a whiff instead. This is a really good change, I think. I think that Olympia was strong, right, so I was never advocating for buffs for her, but this is a change where it's like you should be rewarded if you land your move. That just makes sense. Forward special will now restore her down special dash cancel resource when grabbing an opponent or her gem. This allows her to make it back to the wall a bit easier when using this move far off stage. Forward special slam knockback has been edited, there's like a ton of big numbers here. Slightly more scaling so that the DI away is more effective at higher percents, so it's just going to be a little bit stronger at high percents. Up special now has a hurt box during the multi-hits that fully covers the hitbox. This makes the move inversely disjointed when rising, so it's going to be a little bit more vulnerable here. Up special final hit inner hitbox radius has gone from 75 to 60. It's been moved upwards and backwards to preserve previous range. This reduces the downward disjoint of the move, making it less likely to beat other recovery moves from above. Down special cancel recovery air friction has gone from 2.0 to 1.6. This counteracts the reduced air mobility to make her down special cancel reach approximately the same distance when double jumping afterwards. This is a pretty good change. I would hate to see Olympia's recovery get neutered because of her change in her airspeed when she already kind of had a recovery nerf recently, right? It feels like her recovery is it's not the best recovery in the game, it's definitely not the worst recovery, right? And that's probably where it should be. Up tilt outer hitbox radius has been reduced by 5 centimeters. The down tilt now has 3 smaller hitboxes instead of 2 larger ones. Down tilt middle hitbox knockback angle has changed from 75 to 65, and the outer hitbox knockback angle from 75 to 55. Down tilt active frames have been changed from 3 to 2. Recovery has been adjusted to keep the move last the same amount of time. This makes the move require more precision, since the hitboxes are smaller and less active. The knockback angle makes it slightly less rewarding when the opponent is further away from Olympia. The inner hitbox has priority over the outer hitbox. So basically what this means is if they are close enough to land the inner hitbox, you'll get that one, and the move will still be good and quick if your opponent's far away, but it might not necessarily give you quite as big of a combo, especially when combined with her air jump problems now. Neutral airs both hits, the foot hitbox has shrunk and been pulled slightly backwards. So you can basically see it's just a little bit smaller now, it's not quite as disjointed anymore. Neutral air hit 2 active frames have gone from 7 to 4, but the recovery's been adjusted to keep the move last the same amount of time. This reduces the range and active frames by a bit, so it's not as good at walling opponents out or winning trades. The neutral air recovery window ledge grab frame has been changed from 17 to 20, forward air from 20 to 25. Back air hitboxes have been reduced by 5 centimeters. I'm just telling lies on here. Back air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 12 to 18. This might be kind of bad. I know that Olympia would fish for back airs when dropping from ledge on occasion. So if you're an Olympia player, let me know. Up air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 18 to 23, and the up air foot hitbox radius has been reduced by 5 centimeters during the middle active frames. This is kind of crazy, all of her moves are becoming a little bit smaller, and then her airspeed's also a little bit worse, so if you're an Olympia player, you're gonna have to let me know, is this really the end of the world for you? Let me know. The down air landing lag has gone from 12 to 14. This makes the move slightly less safe on shield and whiff. I'm glad to see this. I feel like down airs are still really strong in this game. They're not quite as strong as they were whenever the game launched, if you guys remember that, or in beta, you would get anything and everything, your whole imagination off of a down air, but I feel like they're still pretty strong. Next up is Absa, and I heard that Absa did get hit pretty hard, unfortunately, so let's see what the tea is. Our main goal with Absa in this patch are to emphasize her weaknesses as a floaty, tone down her offstage stalling with neutral special, and improve the consistency of some of her grounded moves. We're also giving forward tilt a few small changes to reduce its potency in scramble situations, and make its reward more dependable on spacing, and to improve the intentionality of forward tilt part 2 inputs. Her fastfall speed has changed from 28.4 to 23, that's a big change. One of the main weaknesses of a floaty character is their inability to get back quickly to the ground. Absa's fastfall speed was relatively high compared to how floaty she normally is, which offset that weakness a bit too much. We're now decreasing it so that it's the slowest in the game, since her normal fall speed is also the slowest in the game. Gravity jump, when you do a double jump and then you click down at the same time, is unaffected by this. So you'll still be able to get that quick burst movement down with the gravity jump, but if you're like me, you're probably not hitting those gravity jumps too consistently, so we're gonna have to start learning them. The air dodge speed has gone from 30 to 28.5. It's still the highest air dodge speed in the game, but this makes her wave dash cover slightly less distance overall, decreasing her grounded burst movement range. I'm kind of bummed at this. I really liked her having the huge mungus air dash, or wave dash, but that's okay. Cloud will not attach to static electrified opponents who are in the thrown state. This prevents a situation where Absa would downthrow an opponent after special pummeling them, but lead specials moving Cloud would pass right through them. Neutral special Cloud Hop will now only get half the velocity boost for every usage after the first, so this makes sense, it's just going to kind of decay over time. Neutral special's cooldown after Cloud Hop has changed from 30 frames to 45 frames. Cloud Hop was a bit too good at stalling, so we're making it less effective when used multiple times per airtime and increasing the time between successive hops. Forward special will now go on a 20 frame cooldown after a Cloud Pop. This reduces the frequency at which Absa can send clouds at opponents, especially when they're off stage. I like this change. I don't really have a problem with Absa spamming with clouds very often, but I have seen some Absas where it's like they can throw out like 2 or 3 in the time that I'm off stage, which can be a little bit annoying, right? Forward special cloud acceleration has gone from 1.4 to 1.25. Very slight reduction in the cloud acceleration so that sniping opponents after kicking them almost to the blast zone is more strict. Short range clouds are mostly the same, while long range clouds will take a bit longer to cover the same distance as before. I'm not sure if I'm a fan of this change. I feel like sniping people with clouds is already pretty hard to do, at least like maybe I wasn't very consistent with it, maybe that's like my skill issue. But since your opponent does have so much control of DI and air drift in that situation, they can mix up where they're at. So I'm kind of curious to see how this one will feel. Up special can no longer perform the second zip if Absa gets parried before the first one ends. This makes parry stronger counterplay to up special since Absa won't be able to escape to ledge to cancel the parry stun. This is a really good change. I think that allowing defensive mechanics to be strong is always a good option, so that's really cool. Forward tilt 1 startup has gone from 7 to 8. This makes it slightly worse in close range scrapping situations. Forward tilt 1 now has a sour spot on the tip with the knockback angle going from 70 to 60. The max range forward tilt is less punishing on suboptimal DI, although fully inward DI will still be horrible. So that's pretty interesting. They're just kind of changing how forward tilt works, and it looks like it's like half the hitbox, right, is the quote-unquote tip. So now you're definitely like not going to be able to like space this move like crazy and then be safe and then also get huge reward off of it. Forward tilt will now only perform the second part if your attack input is in the direction you're facing. This means that Absa can buffer a backward forward tilt 1 after forward tilt 1, without doing forward tilt 2 in the opposite direction of the input. This is like actually a pretty cool like quality of life change. I guess it might be good like if you whiff the first forward tilt and they roll behind you or something, like, but I mean it's just like nice to have. Up tilt's early hit has an extra hitbox at the bottom. This increases the horizontal range of the low part of the hitbox, allowing Absa to more effectively hit opponents right next to her. I'm really glad for this. This move was kind of inconsistent at hitting opponents in this range, so glad to see it's fixed up a little bit. Forward strong and up strong multi-hits now move the opponent during hit pause to guarantee they link into the final hit. These moves were a bit too inconsistent, leading to most Absas just avoiding them entirely. Forward strong is weak enough and up strong is slow enough that we're just making them fully consistent. Neutral air's recovery window ledge grab frames have gone from 18 to 35. This is huge, that's a crazy increase. Forward airs have gone from 22 to 30, back air from 24 to 32, up air from 33 to 38, and down air from 25 to 32, so you won't be able to mash down air off ledge quite as much. Down throw now forces tumble at 0%. This makes it consistently put opponents into knockdown, making it more useful for setting up low percent tech chases. That's pretty cool, so down throw will be a little bit better. Galvan had increased the size of most of his hurt boxes, and added a new hurt box to the middle of his torso and the middle of his tail. This should make his hurt boxes match his model better, without making them too much of a liability. So Galvan gained a little bit of weight, unfortunately. It happens to all of us, don't worry. And some new tail hurt boxes are vulnerable during active frames of forward tilt, down tilt, neutral air, and up air. So he's got a few oopsie spots there on his tail now, as we can see. So nothing super crazy, but you can definitely like trade with these moves now if you swing at him. His ledge drop vertical offset has gone from 170 to 185. Previously, he would end up very high up relative to the ledge when letting go of it. This change makes his ledge drop aerials also gain less height. Neutral Special's knockback has been changed slightly, and it makes it knock opponents down much later, going from around 60% to 90%. All hits of Forward Special now ignore Knockback Armor. Knockback Armor prevents weak hits from interrupting strong hits for 10 frames after they connect. This could sometimes lead to Forward Special failing to link on opponents if they were just hit by something else, like Neutral Special's Magnet when it's returning to Galvan. His neutral air recovery window has gone from 16 to 21, forward air from 15 to 23, back air from 11 to 15, and up air from 18 to 26. So this means that back air won't be quite as spammable off stage, but it also only got hit by 4 frames, so I'm kind of curious how much that actually does affect him. With the Reina, they say, with this patch we wanted to give Reina a few small quality of life buffs, such as increasing her chair's resistance to getting knocked off stage by projectiles, giving her grab aerials a few more active frames, and making Upstrong a little better at hitting opponents on platforms above her. We're also reworking her down throw, since the situations it was creating weren't very interesting. Wall Jump's horizontal speed has gone from 15.5 to 13. This allows her to hit Kragg's pillar with both neutral air and back air after wall jumping off of it. Ledge drop vertical offset from ledge has gone from 170 to 220. Previously, she would end up very high relative to the ledge when letting go of it. This change makes her ledge drop aerials also gain less height. Hitting another player will now bring your chair off cooldown. This allows her to play offensively to save her chair after it gets knocked off stage. It also enables more combos with her chair. I'm really glad to see this back. I believe this is how it was in Rivals 1, so I think this is a really cool change that she definitely did need. Attacks that deal no knockback will no longer knock the chair back. This makes Maypul's Seed no longer put the chair on cooldown on hit. Minimum knockback when an article hits the chair has gone from 26 to 13. This makes weak projectiles much worse at repositioning the chair. I did notice whenever I play Orcane into Reina, if I just threw a bubble at the chair would go flying. So maybe this makes that matchup a little bit worse, but that'll be okay. For a bug fix, Neutral Special's chair will now go on cooldown after being parried. And chair will go on cooldown after being destroyed by Clairen's Plasma Field. Up Special falls slower for 10 frames after reaching the peak of the trajectory. This allows Reina to stay at the top for longer, making the move a little bit harder to ledge hog. Up Special's lowest hitbox can now only hit grounded opponents. This hitbox is only there so the move doesn't whiff on grounded opponents, but it was also grabbing airborne opponents below Reina. Down Special vertical speed boost has gone from 17 to 18. This allows her to buffer in neutral air to hit the chair after placing it while grounded. Down Special's roll horizontal knockback will now always be in the direction that Reina is moving. This makes the knockback more consistent and predictable, but should be useful when rolling into the chair off stage. Offstage platforms will now be summoned at a consistent height relative to the stage floor, instead of the bottom blast zone. Previously, the platform would be lower on stages with deep bottom blast zones like Fire Capital, and higher on stages with shallow bottom blast zones like Tempest Peak. Throws that can summon the offstage platform will now go into the grab release state if the opponent breaks free for any reason while you're falling. Previously, Reina would end up falling down into the blast zone since the platform never rise up to catch her. Upstrong hand hitbox radius has gone from 55 to 65. This makes it better at grabbing opponents on platforms above Reina, so this move is going to be a little bit larger now. Downstrong Sour Spot knockback has been changed, and this makes it less punishing to miss the sweet spot, since it sends opponents further away and at a lower angle. For another bug fix, her neutral air now has a swipe sound. Neutral air recovery window ledge grab frame has gone from 9 to 12. Forward air active frames have gone from 2 to 3. Recovery has been adjusted to keep the move last the same amount of time, and back air active frames have gone from 3 to 5. Back air recovery window from ledge grab frame has gone from 20 to 27. Up air's active frames have gone from 3 to 5. And down air active frames from 2 to 4. This makes landing these moves a bit more forgiving. I'm kinda happy to see this because her grabs being small and then her airspeed also being bad made landing those aerial grabs just a little bit harder than I would have wished for, but definitely not impossible, so I would like to see how she feels with these. Her down throw startup has gone from 25 to 22, down throw recovery from 22 to 24, and the knockback has been edited. This previous version worked well for Reina, but it just wasn't very interesting. Now the throw will launch opponents, allowing Reina to combo them on bad DI. It also has a hitbox now, so it'll apply hit pause to the opponent and can hit other players. I've been told that it acts kind of similarly to her down tilt, where it pops them up just a little bit, but I actually haven't tried it yet, so you guys will have to let me know if that's right, or if everyone is lying to me and they're evil. For our last bug fix, Special Pummel 3 will no longer leave the opponent with super armor if Reina fails to grab them after tossing them. We hope you enjoyed this month's update, and as always, please leave your feedback and suggestions on our note board. So this was a pretty big patch. If you guys made it this far, pat yourself on the back, like, you're probably crazy, like, I would never listen to myself for this long. But kudos to you. The big takeaways from this patch is Kragg's recovery is much worse. Absa has a lot more counterplay to her disadvantage is going to be worse. Reina is going to be, like, across the board better, but I don't know if she'll actually be good now or just feel a lot better, so you'll have to let me know. Olympia's combo game and advantage state is going to be notably worse because her moves are smaller and her jump speed is worse. Or I guess not her jump speed, but her jump distance is worse. And then Orcane is probably feeling pretty good with that new up throw change, but I've been told it's still kind of like wonky on characters like Fleet and Absa. But overall, like, pretty good patch. Oh, and Zetterburn got a few changes. Pretty good patch. It's going to make holding ledge and then dropping down to use an aerial a bit worse across this patch, I'd imagine. So I'm curious to see how that changes, like, how ledge guarding works. Like, will ledge guarding feel, like, notably different this patch, or will it be the same? We'll have to find out. I think it'll take a little while for the meta to develop around the new mechanic. But I hope you guys all enjoy the game. We have Slate coming out in a little bit less than a month, maybe a little bit more than a month. I'm not 100% sure. I think it might actually be like just a month. So maybe I'm sounding some kind of stupid right now. But as I mentioned, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye for now!